Live, everybody. Yeah, we're live. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Do Hard Things Weekly Wake Up. I just caught Angie off guard because she was like looking weird in mid conversation. I just smashed the live buttons. Angie, how you doing this morning? Happy New Year.
I'm great. Happy New Year. It's a new year. I'm great.
It's a new year. It's a new me. Do you buy into that?
Nope.
No,
Same old me. Same old awesome me. Just with a few little tweaks coming my way. That's it. But
I'm renewing myself every single day. That's how I look at it. It's not a new year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is a new year, but it's all about daily growth. I'm new every day.
Yeah. You should always be working to make those incremental improvements to yourself every day.
Do you know something I learned this weekend that I found fascinating and I want to learn more about it? Is that, did you know, I probably learned this like in 5th grade and I probably forgot. Your body regenerates itself. Every cell in your body is replaced every 7 years. Did you know that?
No.
And so like over time, like as you change, your taste buds change. It's got something to do with your cells regenerating every 7 years. It's crazy.
That's interesting.
So you're legitimately a new person every 7 years.
Okay, how old am I, and how many new people have I been now?
I don't want to get into that. So
yeah.
Anyway, we got a couple sponsors. So before we get into today's topic, we want to talk about lessons learned over the holidays as a parent and grandparent with our kids. So Do Hard Things Parent Edition, some lessons that I learned, and I know you got some lessons from your trip. But before we get into that, this episode is sponsored in part by Lions Guide, High Performance Leadership Academy. Look, so being in charge can be overwhelming. Without the right support, you can feel like it's hard to keep up with demands, struggle to maintain proper staff and maximize the team. And you might find yourself overwhelmed and lacking confidence. Well, Lions Guide helps leaders gain confidence, accomplish more, and earn their personal freedom. The Academy has an online membership with access to a library of content, weekly group and one-on-one coaching, and on-site workshops for your organization. You can learn more by going to lionsguide.com. And I am one of the 3 coaches over there, so I'm really excited about this opportunity. They've allowed me the opportunity to come over and do my internship with them. And so Dale's got a fantastic organization over there, which I'm a part of, and they're sponsor of the show. This episode is also brought to you by the University of Research and Development based out of Auckland, New Zealand. They have an exciting new program for veterans in emergency management. It's a non-traditional accelerated program with the goal being that the veteran achieve their bachelor or their master's degree in less than a year. It's self-paced, it's non-traditional, it's distance learning, and veterans can use their GI Bill benefits, and it'll cover nearly all the costs. And you have the opportunity to go down and study in country for up to 3 months, or you're going to do the 10-day portion with me, the Do Hard Things down under. So you can go to uard.university, or you can go to dohardthingsnation.com, schedule a time to speak to an academic advisor. And then finally, we're sponsored by Do Hard Things Apparel. Hey, when you're wearing something that says grit or gold crusher like Angie's got on, or something that just says plainly Do Hard Things, you're not going to be slacking. It's going to inspire you to motivate, get up and kick ass during the day. And everything has been designed and produced by the one and only, my lovely wife, Lacey Teagues. High quality stuff. It's so good that my teenage children steal my shirts all the time. I can't find them. That's how good it is. Teenagers wear it. And so it's awesome. So
you're not going to want to take it off. I promise.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. So Lacey does a good wonderful job there. Go to dohardthingsnation.com. Go grab yourself some apparel, support the show. And so that's it. That's it. That's our sponsor. So, Angie, how was your holiday?
It was wonderful. It was great. We grabbed the grandbaby. 2 hours one way. Went grab the grandbaby. Well, an hour one way. Grabbed the grandbaby. Turned around and went about 5.5 hours in the opposite direction. And it was just, it's amazing. We got to go spend time with the kids, spend time with his girlfriend, hang out as a family. There's always those last minute, changes and bumps and things that you got to kind of roll with the flow. So we were going to stay with the kid, but we have a little old dog who's 13 and she's like 9 pounds, and he has a pit bull and another dog. And the pit bull is amazing. She's like a bull in a china shop. And so my little dog was just too scared of their big dog, even though Missy's a great dog. Missy just wanted to love on her. We just ended up getting an Airbnb at the very last minute. And plans change, things happen. We rolled with it. We had a fantastic, fantastic time just spending time hanging out, wearing matching Grinchmas pajamas. It was
That's awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
That's
How about
awesome.
you? How about you?
Well, so yeah, we went on a ski trip. I was with went with Lacey, and it was organized by 4 other moms, and there's 9 teenagers, and I was the only dude. Well, there's a couple of teenagers that were dudes, but I'm the only like old
Uh-huh.
dude. And we went to Georgetown, Colorado, and had a fantastic time. There were some challenges along the way. It's to be expected when you have 9 teenagers, a lot of personalities there. But yeah, we went to Georgetown, Colorado, went skiing for 2 days. It was my kids' first time skiing. And some of the kids had skied before, some didn't. And yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. We laughed, we cried. There's like a lot of emotions, which is to
Yeah.
be expected when you have that many people, but it was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. And made the holidays in general were excuse me, a little stressful this year because I had a lot of travel going right into the holidays. Then we had the ski trip planned right afterwards. But as I was like reflecting about the whole month and the holidays in general, fantastic. Probably one of my personal favorites.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah. So what I want to talk about today was maybe just some lessons learned with maybe traveling and maybe with parenting, grandparenting that we may have learned, because I definitely learned some lessons taking my kids skiing for the first time, and encouraging your kids to do hard things, and from a parent perspective, doing hard things. So I don't know. One of the things that I learned, it's difficult. How far was you said your road trip was how many hours?
It ended up being about 7 hours.
Yeah. So one thing that I've learned is a lot of people get incredibly comfortable and they don't want to put the effort into travel.
Oh yeah.
And this is a conversation that happens a lot in the veteran community, right? Because we're usually stationed all over the place, and then it's we go back home for the holidays, and we're traveling all, we're trying to hit all of our friends and family, but you go home and you're disappointed because some of your family won't make the effort to drive 20 minutes across town to come see you. And all that to say that some people have no problem hopping in a car and traveling, and some people there's like resistance to it. Do you have any? You're pretty much a traveler. You have no problem doing.
Oh yeah, we'll jump in the car in a heartbeat. We'll jump in the car and go. We took Bailey, our granddaughter, she'll be 6 this month. We took her down to Disney, and we drove that trip, and that ended up being about a 14-hour car ride. But yeah, no, we love it. We love traveling.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
always have.
And the road tripping is the hardest part. We had to hop in the car and we drove 12 hours and through Kansas. Kansas is, that is a tough drive. And I guess the thing is, I guess one of the lessons learned, or if I could just recommend, there's always a lot of resistance to the drive and the travel. Like, oh, that's the effort. Make the effort. Because every time that I've made the effort for travel, it's always been worth it. Or 9 times out of 10, it's been worth it.
Well, also going into it, try to reframe that instead of, oh my God, I have to do this, to, oh my God, we get to see so many cool things along the way. Because let's face it, it's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's all the experiences, every little interaction in between, and the things that maybe you've seen a million times. My granddaughter, she maybe hadn't noticed or hadn't seen. We passed some barn thing that I know she travels to Oklahoma, but she's like, oh, Nani, look how beautiful. Look, Nani, look out there. It's all about the whole trip itself. It's not about just leaving your house and just, when do we get there? When do we get there? Let's try to slow down and enjoy the process.
I love that. Reframe the process of the drive itself, right? Because that can be an adventure. It's a challenge. When I was down in Dallas recently in that area, we went to a Buc-ee's. Have you been to a Buc-ee's?
Yeah, I love stopping at Buc-ee's.
Everyone's been raving about the Buc-ee's. I personally thought it was travel hell on earth, but my kids loved it because it's just like a Costco, right? For like a truck stop Costco version. It was cool. There's a lot of people in there. And I wasn't doing people well that night, but it was cool. And that in itself was an adventure.
Yeah.
They got a little bit of everything there.
My granddaughter, well, we've got Wally's here, right? So Wally's Buc-ee's. I've never been to a Buc-ee's, I don't think, but I have been to a Wally's. But she loves it, and I love it. I mean, we just go in, and it's just a nice little break from sitting in the car and shopping around, looking at all the goofy travel stuff they have in there. I mean, it's awesome. We like it. Yeah.
Craig Horseman just commented, "Buc-ee's is terrible." We didn't make that. So I'm not the only one. Zach's hopping on an airplane. He's live on an airplane. Hey, safe travel, Zach. They're going on an awesome trip to the Dominican Republic. So excellent.
Oh,
hey, Brittany, if you're watching, hello. And then Missy, seeing the world through your kids' eyes is the biggest blessing we can receive. Yes. You know what? Oftentimes, this is a pitfall from a parent. Like I try to make the trip like really grand. I think of myself, what was it? National Lampoon's, Clark is trying so hard to make this memorable experience for his kids. And really, the kids are like, they're not even worried about, they cling on to little things. They cling on to the little things, the little memories made. But to your point, make the road trip itself a memorable experience. Do you have any tips or recommendations on how to do that, aside from like just some travel stops and things like that you see along the way?
Pack snacks. This is like super, super easy, simple, something that, maybe you might or might not think of. I always pack sandwiches and snacks, plenty sandwiches and snacks, and might forget the water, but we'll stop and get that at the gas station. But it just makes it so much easier because kids, I'm picking and fighting my battles on a road trip. And if she just had breakfast and an hour later she's like, Nani, I want a snack. Here's you a half a sandwich, baby. Snack away. There's no sense in fighting about that stuff. And if you have a deadline that you want to get to, so you don't want to stop a lot, you've got that in the vehicle ready to grab. So just pack yourself a small cooler. Make sure your electronics are charged. I don't necessarily like her being on an iPad the entire time, but it helps her stay busy to pass the time so she's not getting bored and grumpy. Make sure your stuff is charged ahead of time. It's just these little things that you can do to make your life easier and their life easier too. Something my grandmother always used to do. Anytime we went anywhere, I had this little bag, and it always had crayons, coloring book, paper, markers, kid scissors, and she brought that. And no matter where, even if we were going out to a restaurant for dinner, she would bring the little bag, and I would sit there because we didn't have iPads back then, and I always had something to do. So I do the same thing with my granddaughter. I have a bag, and it has books and cards and crayons, and she's got her backpack and some toys in there, and she knows she has it back there. And if she's tired of playing on the iPad, or the iPad dies, or she just whatever, she pulls that bag out and she knows she's got something to keep her busy.
Yeah. So entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys all agree on what you listen to in the car?
We listen to kid-friendly music at this moment.
Does it drive you insane?
I
think about like Barney music and things like that. Like it make me want to drive to the telephone pole.
Oh, no, we don't listen to kid music. We listen to kid-friendly music. Totally different. Like I usually keep it on the 80s just because the 80s pretty kid-friendly.
What's that stuff? Kids Bop?
Yeah. Nope. Not doing it. Nope. Mm-mm.
I have found, so I've got some different personalities in my vehicle, and they do not see eye to eye with music. None of us do. We have a completely different, it's very difficult to find music that we all enjoy. And they don't like podcasts. However, one of my favorite radio shows is out of St. Louis, the Dave Glover Show, and they have a podcast, and we listen to that because it's kind of like they'll have like serious topics, but then they go off and do like a bunch of fun stuff too. And we listened to it all the way out. I tried it, and they really enjoyed it, so we listened to it all the way out to Colorado and all the way back. And so it was something finally, because I prefer like podcasts and talk, something that they could listen to that they enjoyed, and they would be laughing and stuff because the show is really funny. And so I found that to be very helpful. But there are moments in the car where they're just like you want to punch each other and arguing over stuff and arguing over electronics and trying to find the right cable for the right electronic. And that's part of the trip. So,
yeah.
Craig's like portable DVD player for the. Oh, What's that?
Drop a link to that podcast in the comments because I
Yeah. Yeah, the Dave Glover show has been around for a long time. They're based out of St. Louis. It's one of the top afternoon shows in the country. I learned about them. I was actually on their show when like I said, they've been around for a long time. I was on their show as a guest after my deployment to Iraq, and I came on again. So I've been on his show twice a long time ago, which is super cool. And I've been a fan ever
cool.
since. So I can find it. Dave Glover show. I don't know if this is that's Audacity. I'll drop it in there.
Okay, cool.
So here, I'll drop it right here. Give me just a second here. Dead air. All right, hang on. Yeah, but I highly recommend it. They're a lot of fun.
Right on.
All right. So the other thing that I learned. So once we got into Georgetown, Colorado, we got settled in, and the actual skiing itself. So this was something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, but I knew it was going to be challenging, and I wanted to get lessons. I guess this is another lesson learned. I procrastinated on getting the lessons booked. They only had snowboarding lessons. And I tried to encourage the girls to do that because I thought that would be, I knew the lessons would be helpful to them, but they absolutely didn't want to do that. They wanted to ski. So I'm like, okay, I will do the best that I can to teach you since we don't have a ski instructor available. And we got up there on the bunny slopes, and just the first couple times down the mountain, it was just a disaster. Like it was just, they're clipping in for the first time. They're cold. They're falling and busting their ass. And when you're doing that, like, it's just not fun. Have you skied before?
I have, and I prefer snowboarding.
Do you remember the first time that you went though? You're probably busting your ass everywhere.
Yeah. Yes. Multiple times.
So for kids, it's not very fun. I'm like, man, I really wish they would have taken the lesson because I'm not a very, my patience is I'm their dad, right? So my patience is a little thin, and
yeah,
they're being snarky to me, and I'm just like, if there's an instructor, there's that weird relationship dynamic. So anyway, there were some tears. There were some moments where we wanted to quit. And I'm like, I'm not letting you quit. We're going to master this together. I'm here with you. We're going to do this together. Yeah. And so after some tears and wanting to quit, we let them go in and get warmed up. We came back out. We switched a couple things, and they actually, bottom line is they started to get it. And with that level of competence, it boosted their confidence. They began by the end of the day to enjoy it. So it was that breakthrough moment of pushing through and motivating them to not to quit.
Yeah.
And that was hard from a parent because they absolutely, like, we were just butting heads at the moment. Absolutely. Big tears. And
we went canyoning in Austria. So Dion and I, Rudy was deployed at the time, and Dion and I jumped on a trip with some friends, and we didn't even know what canyoning was, but it just sounded fun. And it is so beautiful. Like you're down in the middle of this valley in these mountains, and you're going through the water, and you're climbing up on these rocks, and you go up different heights, and you just jump off the rock down into the water. Right. And it doesn't sound scary, but when you're 1 story, 2 story, 3 stories up, jumping off a rock into some water is very, very scary.
Yeah.
And I had to Dion, he was, I don't even remember how young he was then, but he was, I don't know, maybe 8, 9. And we got to a point where he's like, he was scared. He didn't want to jump off the ledge. And so I jumped a couple times to show him, hey, it's okay. And finally got him to go. And once he was able to conquer his fear, then there was no stopping him. He was wanting to jump off every single ledge. But you could just see the switch in him from being scared and afraid and just not wanting to move to, oh my God, this is great. I can do it. Let's do it again 100 times.
Yeah, and we talk about fear a lot and facing your fear. Oftentimes, the first couple times are going to be the scariest times. It can paralyze you. Yeah. But once you gain some level of competence in whatever it is that you're doing, you're like, okay, I'm going to be okay. Then you're more apt to do it and push through. And oftentimes, like, man, this wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my kids kind of went through the same thing with skiing because they were scared going up there and seeing everything, especially the first couple of times after busting their tail end. But yeah, just like anything, And how do you shorten that? How do you shorten that learning curve? Well, find someone that's done it that can guide you, or do some
Mhm.
research on it. There's a variety of different strategies to help you, because that lesson can be applied to anything in your life.
So did they end up loving it? Did they end up loving skiing?
Yes. So on the second day, they were up there by themselves, and it was awesome because they got on the little ski lift, and it was Paige and Phoebe were going up to it was the smaller slope and skiing by themselves, which was awesome because I was able to get away and go up and hit one of the blues and the greens. But when I came back down from that, Phoebe had fell once and hit her head really hard. That's just part of the sport, right? It's full contacts
Mhm.
there. And she hit her head. She was pretty well. I didn't push her, so that was my next point: is learn when to push and when not to push. And she said that she saw stars, and she
Mm.
was pretty well done for the day because we only had a few hours left after that. So I took Paige up to the mountain that I just did. So we went up to the big mountain and hit the green. And this is not a normal green. This green, I think, is more like a blue because it was pretty treacherous for a green.
Uh-huh.
And I told her, like, she was scared because we went up on, it was the big mountain. So the gondola went all the way up to the very top, and there wasn't a whole lot of room for error. That's what made it so challenging, was it was very narrow. And then there were a couple really, really steep spots. But we went through it together. I was with her the whole time. I'm like, we're going to conquer this together. And we had a few moments along the way where we got
Uh-huh.
frustrated at each other. But at the end of the day, she made it down to the very bottom, and she just, you could sense the confidence. Like, I did that, and I was so proud of her for doing that. And we had that bonding moment, that experience together. It was almost like its own little mini adventure where we did that together, and it was awesome.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, like I said, there's a lot of tears shed. There was some frustration. There was
Yeah, yeah.
hugs and happiness at the very end. When we finally got down to the bottom. But it was a great experience to have with my daughter, doing something hard, and seeing them overcome, because that was a challenge for sure.
Right.
And there were
Yeah.
so many people, like, it was a beginner slope. So you had like a bunch of beginners on the bunny slope. And then right next door, you got this lift, and it's pretty, it's a order of magnitude of a different experience, and quite challenging. So there's a lot of people up there struggling, and it was just really cool to see people, overcoming their fear and helping each other out. Like, it wasn't just
Yeah.
us, it was other people up there too, which was super cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
So, but I loved it. Overall, letting them experience something different, face their challenge, do something physical. It's something that they want to do again. So I definitely want to encourage that.
Oh,
And
nice.
so it was awesome. It was awesome.
Good.
So,
That's good stuff.
um, yeah. So, what about your trip? Anything from your trip with your granddaughter?
Actually, no, this was a pretty low key trip. Um, we didn't have any. She, I mean, not to brag, but she's a really good traveler, right? So, I mean, she is my granddaughter, and she travels really well. She didn't have any meltdowns. She was just pretty easy peasy the whole time. This time, um, granted, it wasn't such a long trip. We were pretty prepared. The only thing, um, yeah, no, we had a really good time this time. So, um, there was a lot of bonding, a lot of super cool bonding between her and my son's girlfriend this time, which I absolutely, like, it just melted my heart. To see them all cuddled up together, it was great. As far as lessons learned, um, we did Christmas. We had a delayed Christmas, so we waited to do Christmas on, I guess, this past Wednesday, and we didn't rush anything. We didn't try to make it anything other than what it was. And we just took our time and hung out together, and let her open her presents and play with whatever she wanted to play with. And yeah, we weren't really concerned about let's make sure everything's all cleaned up. Let's make sure we're on schedule. If she wanted to stay up late, let her stay up late. If she wanted to have a few extra pieces of candy, let her. So what? You want to have a few donuts, have a few donuts. We just, this time it was just really laid back, easy going. When we're on vacation, we pick and choose our battles. It's not a free for all. We don't let her hang from the rafters, but it's definitely not the same as everyday life. As every day, hey, these are the rules you have to follow 100%. Don't, we kept her in line. Yes. But it was more, it's just like, we're just going to have a good time. We're just going to enjoy the moment. We're going to do the things, and we'll get back to real life shortly.
Is that the blessing of being a grandparent, though? Like, you can hand them over back to their parents when you're done.
Yes. Yeah. 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 For sure. For sure.
I'm looking forward to that stage of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
But I will say, though, anyone that's ever known me as a parent, I'm pretty on it. I'm pretty on it. Like, I'm not one of those, never have been one of those parents or grandparents that just sits back and lets them just like, woo, do whatever, So I'm on it like that. So yeah. So usually when they get the kid back, the kid is pretty in line. In line.
That's good. That's good. I think it's my biggest takeaway from everything was, it's important to make the memories, have the experiences, and it comes with challenge. It comes with resistance. And that's just part of doing hard things as a parent, right? Making those opportunities. And I had put off this, I've been wanting to do this ski trip for a long time, but I kept putting it off for one reason or another. And I'm really blessed and grateful that this was organized. And even going into it, I was like, oh man, 9 teenagers, how am I going to survive this one?
That's a lot.
But hindsight, it was awesome. It was worth the tears and effort because we have amazing memories that will last a lifetime. And it's going to be hard every time. That's part of being a parent. It's one of the most difficult leadership challenges that we all face, is being a parent and doing that. But it's absolutely worth it. I felt like I was able to really bond. I'd been out of town recently, and I just kind of felt disconnected from my kids. And this holiday season, I made it an effort to slow everything down and just do things with the kids and just really try to engage with them. And it really filled my heart. It was really awesome. It's hard as teenagers. I know go ahead.
Oh, no, just say you brought up leadership. Think about, I don't know if I'm sure you did this with your kids at some point, but when you're on a trip, allowing the kids to make decisions, showing them, hey, that's something that another thing we worked on with our granddaughter is her left and right, but also allowing them to make decisions on, hey, should we stop here and go see this? Or, hey, should we go that way or this way? And even if it takes longer to get to your destination, even if it may not be the right way, teaching them how to overcome that, come back from it. And then, okay, hey, it's not the end of the world. We might've made a wrong turn. How about we try this? And putting them in that leadership position and empowering them and giving them that confidence. I mean, I'm sure you did it with your girls,
And the other podcast that I co-host with Benji is the Budget Overland podcast, where we talk about vehicle-dependent travel. And that's a common theme. A lot of people are like, well, how do I get my kids involved in travel and get them out more? Well, what we tell people is it's not your vacation, it's the family's vacation. So giving everyone buy-in, and this is a leadership principle. People support what they create. So if you allow people to have buy-in and get a say and support them in that, you're going to have a more positive outcome with the entire dynamic of the team. So it's true with your kids, giving them the opportunity of, hey, I want to pull over to that truck stop and look at the petrified wood, or whatever it is, right? Or go to Buc-ee's and let them have say in that experience, give them something to look forward to, makes the trip, so much better. It makes it more enjoyable for everyone.
Sure does.
Or you could be a dictator and dictate the whole timeline and not give any buy-in. They're just going to naturally resist you because humans tend to naturally resist those things. So
I'm going to resist you. What are you talking about?
Oh, petrified wood again. Oh,
yes. I love it.
So, all right. Well, we're about a half hour here. So if we want to switch over here, I want to nominate here. I'm going to pull up my screen here. I'm going to this week's weekly wake up winner. I screw this up every time. Give me a second here.
You get 0 seconds, Jay. 0 seconds. 0.
I don't understand. I'm not seeing the share button here. There it is. It's the early mornings here. All right, so I nominate my kids. I nominate my kids to be the Do Hard Things winner, weekly winner. They already have all my shirts. They probably already have the entire collection. But just for being awesome and patient and facing their fear, I saw them overcome a lot of adversity, and to share that experience with them was just really cool. That was not easy to face your fear and want to quit and continue to push on. So I nominate Paige, Phoebe, and Sam as this week's Do Hard Things weekly wake up winner. There's a photo all the way there to the left, probably one of my favorite photos of all time. They still hold my hand. Sam still holds my hand. And we were walking down Georgetown, and she reaches over and grabs my hand. And I can't tell you, from a parent perspective, that is probably one of the sweetest things that I cherish the most. And it just made me realize how I was able to bond with them over this experience. Sam didn't ski. I didn't force her. So kind of going back to the knowing when to push, knowing when not to push, she had nothing to do with it. And I didn't want to force her, but she still had a wonderful time and we still bonded. But overall, yeah, they're this week's weekly wake up winner. So
congratulations,
Sam, Phoebe, and Paige. I love you guys. You guys are awesome for overcoming your fears.
Yes, and, keep doing hard things.
Keep doing hard things. This is what I told me. You got to do hard things. So
yeah.
All right.
That's great.
Well,
hey, you know what? Why don't we give everybody a challenge to nominate who they think should be the weekly winner?
Absolutely. We are looking for nominations. So if you know someone out there that's facing fear, overcoming challenges, doing something difficult, we want to hear about it. You can just contact us directly. You can email me at Jay at jaytiegs.com, JAYTIEGS.com, or just shoot me a direct message. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on all the different channels, or contact Angie. She's on all the socials as well. And let us know. Yeah, just real quick. Why do you think that they should be nominated? What is it that they're facing? We're looking for people that, HARD has a mnemonic, right? Health and wellness goals, affluence and wealth creation goals, relationship goals. Maybe they've got a really big anniversary, or maybe they've got a big career change, or maybe they've done like a tremendous accomplishment in their personal fitness journey. Maybe they've got a big personal growth and development journey. We want to hear about people crushing it, kicking ass and taking names. And all we got to do is send a couple photos, a nomination of why you think they should be nominated, and we'll select someone, send them a shirt, and it'll be awesome. So, yeah. Do it.
Take notice of those around you.
Absolutely. And I know they would definitely appreciate it. And we love doing it. So, do you have to go back to work today?
No, I don't.
Awesome.
However, I will be working in the house, taking down all the Christmas decorations.
So you made me get up early anyway?
Absolutely. Hey, I almost made you get up early yesterday because I really thought.
Yeah, you text me like, "Hey, what are we talking about tomorrow?" I'm like, "Whoa!" I was already kind of in this weird time warp, and I was like, "Is today really Sunday?" Oh, it's funny.
Yeah. So I was like, "Oh, okay. I don't have to get up after running at midnight. Thank God, I get to sleep in."
What a great way to bring in the new year.
Yeah. How did you bring in the new year, Jay?
So we watched. We went to Avatar and watched it in 3D, and it was awesome. Now I'm not a big sci-fi. But it was an experience. It was super cool, and I would highly recommend. It's a long movie. It's like 3 hours. But I'm gonna tell you, I felt like I was captivated the entire time. It was incredible. That's what we did. We took the kids to see Avatar.
We skipped that. When we were there back visiting with Dion, we went to see Puss in Boots. But I saw Avatar and I was like, 3 hours? No, thanks. That would definitely have to be a matinee movie for me because I don't want to fall asleep. But I'm glad you shared that it was pretty captivating. So
watch it in 3D and go to the big screen or an IMAX. And that's because I'm really not into, like I said, sci-fi, but it's such a visual. It's a truly unique experience in the movie theater that you're not going to get with other movies.
Cool.
That makes it compelling to go.
Okay.
And but I wouldn't want to watch it like over and over again.
No.
One and done.
Yeah, one and done.
You know they spent like $2 billion making that movie.
Jeez, yeah. Well, I mean, hey, if it can keep you captivated for 3 hours in 3D, I mean,
$2 billion. It's just mind blowing to me.
How much are they going to make off of it, though?
Yeah, I don't know that I've been reading articles about it. They don't think they're going to recoup their costs on it, but I wonder what it
Oh,
does as far as advancing technology and movie making, because I'm sure that's the compelling reason to do it.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's
Yeah,
definitely unique. It's different.
yeah, I'll have to check it out.
So, but I still think the first one was better. The first ones are always, but for a sequel, not too
Hmm.
shabby. Not too shabby.
Cool.
Looks like there's going to be another one though.
Oh, I guess I
So
need to get up on this one then.
the saga continues.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go get Lacey up out of bed, and we're gonna go run.
I'm not gonna run yet. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna pull Rudy out of bed yet. But we're gonna get a good nice run in today. We got a 5K. Oh, got a 5K in yesterday about noon, and we got a 5K in at midnight. We ran into the new year with some awesome folks from Team RWB yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely get in a run today. How many miles you putting in today?
Not much. I'm gonna be honest. This has been kind of a tough month with all the travel. Been making it, so I'm just in maintenance mode. I'm gonna lift a little bit, and I'm going to gonna get a couple miles in, maybe 2-3 miles. But
Yeah, that's where we're at.
hey, you know, it's that time of year. I'm gonna start getting after it again, just like everyone else. Speaking of which, I was looking at different challenges this year to do, and I was looking at. I've done some other like beach body programs and things. I've also done like I love 75 hard, and I thought about doing that again. But I'm like looking at my current stage in life, and I'm like, you know what? There's just something like I don't want to commit to 75 hard right now because I've got too many other. It's a huge commitment, and I love
Yeah.
that program.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? The Do Hard Things Nation needs a program, and I'm trying to roll something out for Lions Guide as well. So Lacey and I are putting together a program. We're going to announce it tomorrow, but it's a choose your own adventure style that's not going to completely like just decimate your personal time. That's the one thing about 75 hard was for me, it was the second workout. Like I couldn't do it every single day, and I wanted just a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah.
And so we're going to roll something out. We'll announce it tomorrow. And if you're watching this later in the show notes, I'll have the link. But we're going to roll it out tomorrow. And if people want a different option, a scalable, choose your own adventure style where you're still going to get something, and you can make it as hard as you want, then this will be an option for you. So
sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I'm on board already. I'm already on board. I can't wait.
Awesome. Yeah. Because the 75 hard, like I said, great program, really good to really stretch you. But I just wouldn't recommend it if you have like competing interest or kind of short on time. Because that second workout, personally, that got me is like, I just don't have time all the time to do that second workout. Like I feel like I had to cut family time short to get these things in or something else.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, we'll roll that out. So
yes,
aside from that, I'm excited about 2023.
Me too. Me too. I'm excited to live it. I'm so excited. I can't wait. 2022 was not bad for me. A lot of great things happened in 2022, but I'm really excited for 2023.
Yeah. And I know that there's some people out there struggling. Like 2022 was a tough year for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I just want to remind everyone, just give people encouragement. Like, look, life ebbs and flows. And, but you got to keep working on yourself. You got to continue to push yourself, make experiences, strengthen your relationships. Don't get caught up in the pitfalls of the trappings of life that keep you just distracted, unfocused, disconnected. Yeah. Get around other people that inspire you and motivate you. Focus on your health and wellness. Continue your personal growth, and just realize that, hey, struggle is a part of life, and you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. And if you need support, you want to connect. You know, you can go to dohardthingsnation.com. You can join the Forge. Lions Guide is a great option for people. And by all means, if you need to go talk to someone, go talk to someone. Go get yourself into therapy and hash it out if you need to. Just don't do it alone. That's all. That's my big thing. So,
right.
My big message of the day. So aside from that, keep doing hard things, keep kicking ass. And I don't know, Angie, make someone smile.
Heck yeah. Do something that makes you smile today. That will make people around you smile. Or do something that makes them smile. If you don't feel like smiling, if you make somebody else smile, it's going to make you feel all nice and warm and tingly inside. And it will put a smile on your face, I guarantee.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, everyone out there, keep doing hard things. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
All right.